Hi everyone, this is the second part to the video that I was taking earlier. I apologize, my video cut out. I had a malfunction with my phone. I was talking about, I believe, the whip and what I do with it. Like I said, I usually use a dressage whip. And not that we primarily, I'm going to hold on to the lead rope for this part as we're going to do sidestepping. And I'm going to show how I get them started on a Liberty Circle. I usually just use it for cues, which is why in the first video, I didn't really have it, because I was mostly focusing on him coming to me and him following me. So this part will be focusing on Liberty Circles. So you almost want it like you're lunging them almost, but you want them a lot closer to you. I'm thinking like this much length. I believe this is like 3 or 4 feet from him. And he'll basically be trotting or walking, and if you do a larger circle, they can be cantering a circle around you. Then you'll have them stop, stand, and you can either go to them or they can come to you. Kind of like your typical lunging. Now he doesn't quite get this yet, as he doesn't seem to understand quite yet that he doesn't need to be by me right all the time. So you'll see me constantly when I only work with him on this for a few minutes max each time I do this, as he seems to get frustrated while we're doing it. So, and the reason I do it with the lead rope is that, again, he doesn't really seem to understand the concept of it quite yet. So he'll do like half circles like this, where he's moving his hind end, and you'll see the whip sensitivity cut up as I brought him around. But he doesn't partially move his front end as much as I like, and I shouldn't be moving as much as I do when I do this. He should primarily be, I should primarily be making small movements and just moving the whip around, different cues, whereas he should be moving around. Whereas I'm moving in the circle, he's also moving in the circle. See, I lightly tap his hind end to get him started, and then I'll move his front end like this. This is where the sidestepping comes in. Relax. You'll see the whip sensitivity there too, as I bring the whip up near his head. After a few seconds, he gets used to it. And when I do with the whip, activities with the whip, I will use it as positive reinforcement. When I'm working with the whip and sidestepping, I do not use treats. I use positive reinforcement with the whip. Come on. There we go. I'll also hold my hand out as an indicator that I don't want him to move closer to me. There we go. Come on. There we go. He does know how to lunge, but the concept that we're doing Liberty right now is stuck in his head that he does not need to be away from me. So doing this with him in the Liberty Circle is going to be a little bit tougher for me to try to get into his head. Come on. And this is why you'll see me moving around more. He does it somewhat, but he's not quite ready for me to bring him to an event and do this with. Now, I could do this at an event, and then bring it around and do it the other side and do the half circles, because the majority of people will be impressed that he's doing this, but he's not quite doing the full circle that I want him to do. And he is doing a lot better than when we first started this. He's just not quite to the point where I'm ready for him to do an event with the Liberty Circle involved in the event, quite to the extent that I want it to. Yeah, I'm almost wanting him to do this, but he's so tentative that it's kind of hard to do this with him. Come on. Come on. Come on. And you'll see me nudging his butt, not only with the whip, but with my hand also. Now, he is not an aggressive horse. He's more of a tentative horse. So I don't have to worry about aggressive behavior from him. And if he does walk off, he's not mean about it. Not that he would right now, because I have a hold of the lead rope. There we go. But getting him, come on. There we go. To do this is a bit difficult, as you can see. He doesn't quite get the concept to do it. Come on. Come on. Come on. And I'll nudge him with my hip also. Oh boy. Even the slightest improvement, which he has improved since when we first started this. Come on. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. Even. Come on. There we go. Good boy. Step up. Come on. Step up. Good boy. Now I'm going to end that note today because he did kind of do a semicircle, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to go to the sidestepping portion of this. Now when I started to get him to sidestep before, it was with when the lead rope was around his neck. He does sidestepping a lot better if the lead rope is in my hand, so eventually we'll get to the point where I don't need the lead rope. And eventually we'll get to the point where I won't need the lead rope around his neck either. And in events, I might still leave the lead rope around his neck, but have him wear a show halter and a show chain to where it looks nicer. Like that. Come on. Good boy. Like that. Come on. There we go. Now, when I want him to sidestep, I do want his full body to move, and as you can see, at times his front body does most of the motion. So this is where you'll see me moving the whip from the center of his stomach to back here. Or I'll move it up here if his front legs are not lined. Good boy. Oh boy. Now it is light taps, as if someone was like tapping your shoulder to get your attention. That is what the feeling is to him. It is mostly, like I said, it's a cue to get him to move. So in the show you'll barely see this, as I won't have to do it as much. Come on, sidestep. Now we'll eventually get to the part where I'll be sidestepping with my feet in front of him and he'll follow my lead as I say sidestep. And I won't have the whip. Sidestep. But right now in his training, he's not that far along. There we go. Good boy. There we go. Or I'll just have the whip at his side and push against this point and tell him to do it, and it with occasional taps. Come on. Sidestep. No treats for this part. Come on. Come on. Sidestep. Come on. There we go. Good boy. He does get frustrated in the fact that I do not treat him. Give him treats, not like treat him. Give him treats like I do with the other portion of his Liberty work. But with this portion, I'm primarily using praises with the whip. Especially with his sensitivity with the whip. Which you've seen when we were trying to do the Liberty Circle, working on the Liberty Circle. Now you'll see he's kind of sidestepping, but he's not moving his hind end with it. There we go. Good boy. Now he's kind of walking out of the camera, so I'll move him up some. There we go. Sidestep. Come on, sidestep. Now, for me, this is kind of hard for me to do. 3 things at once. Sidestepping with my own feet, talking to him and giving him the cues. So you'll see me occasionally not talking and explaining what I'm doing, and I'll explain it after I get to the end, which I apologize about. But me and my clumsy self do not want to trip over my own feet. Side step. Side step. Side step. Now you'll see me occasionally tapping on his hind end consistently when I'm telling him to sidestep, and it's because he does not have it straightened out. There we go. Well, not quite. There. Which is one of my pet peeves when we are doing this. Back. Little exercise. Sidestep. Sidestep. There we go. Good boy. Now I typically recommend when you first start doing this, sidestep, to use a solid object behind them. For example, like a, there we go, good boy, like a gate or a vehicle, trailer, fence line, etc. Sidestep. Good boy. Good boy. He has definitely improved since even the beginning of this video of me doing this. Back, back. Now eventually I hope to do it without the lead rope on, but right now I do not feel comfortable doing that with him until he's gone to the point where I barely have to use the whip. But now, like I said, this is gentle tap, more of a guidance. And right there in the jerking of the head, you'll see his head sensitivity coming up, which is why I'll move my hands around like this afterwards, so that he gets that, hey, I'm not going to hit you with the whip, I'm not going to hit you. Just a quirk that he has. Side step. Side step. There we go. Good boy. Side step. Now you'll see me pulling on with the lead rope too to get him to sidestep, which is why I have not taken the lead rope off. Sidestep. There we go. Good boy. Ooh. We're right under a walnut tree, downside of this tree. Good boy. Back, back, back. Unfortunately, with the camera angles, I apologize about them. I am typically the only one here the majority of the time when I do this, so the camera angles are not the best. I hope to one day improve from doing this on my phone to getting a, I can't even remember what it's called right now, but the fly puff view. I'm going to remember that after I do this video, and I'm going to feel completely not smart that I did not remember it. I want to call it a droid, but I feel like I'm not calling it that by the right name right now. I'm going to remember it later. But they're a few $100s, and that's not quite in my budget at this moment. Now, I typically only work with him on this. There we go. Good boy. About 15 to 30 minutes at a time. Now, today's session was a little longer, but we did not do anything some of the times that we were doing this, so sometimes he was standing, which is perfectly fine. Walk on. Come on, walk on. Walk on. Another reason why I don't use the whip a lot is because when I'm holding the whip, he is not quite as willing to follow me around. I really hope that answers some questions on how I correct them on behavior and how I am training him to sidestep, and why he's giving me so much trouble when sidestepping, when doing it with his lead rope around his neck. Now that's tied really loosely. If he tried really hard, he could get it around his neck off and to the ground. As you can see, it's just tied like this. I mean, if he even pulled on this, pulled right here, it would undo it. It's only there if I need to grab onto him suddenly if something happens or if he takes off on me. So I can have, excuse me, a quick mechanism to get control of him again. But when doing certain aspects of the Liberty, I do recommend using a lead rope to start with and a halter to start with. Getting them to understand the cues and commands for it, and then you can either just tie the lead rope around the neck loosely, or you can take it off completely. Even in performances, like I said earlier with him, I most definitely will have a lead rope tied around his neck with it'll probably just be a show halter and a show lead rope. It'll still look nice, as it won't be the work lead rope and work halter he has on right now. Oh. Back. 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 Stand. Stand. Right there he's begging, which is, like I said in that one video, one of my pet peeves. Back. Stand. We're running into the same problem that we did in the first video, that he is not standing when told. Stand. Another one of my little pet peeve of mine. So I really appreciate all of my subscribers back. Stand. Stand. Give everybody who has liked and commented on the different videos that we have done. Please share this. I really love talking about Liberty and doing Liberty with the different horses. As you can tell, he's begging right now for a treat, which he is unfortunately not going to get. Right now we are only doing the part of Liberty where I praise him with pats and with words, good boy, etc. And I am weaning him off of treats with the other portion of the Liberty, which is why he's also kind of grumpy at me. Step up. So when you first start out with Liberty, I'm going to sum this up and go over a couple things real quick, and then I will sign off. When you first start out with Liberty, I highly recommend leading them around like I was doing with the sidestepping, like that, and telling them the cues on what to do and what to expect, and then weaning them to the point of having the lead rope around their neck. And if you eventually want to get to the point where they have no lead rope and no halter on at all, it will take months, 2 years to get to this point. He has been working at this for, it is October 2nd, since about May, June. And as you can tell, even he acts up right now. Every horse will have its off day. Even a trained professional horse who does Liberty for a living will have its off day. But as I said previously, one of the great things about Liberty is that if, you or the horse messes up, you can improvise, which I love. So if you want to be on the safe side like I do, even my more trained horses that I train for other people to use in Liberty, do not beg. They even use them with the show halters and show lead ropes around their neck still on when they do their Liberty. Do not beg. I usually keep treats. I think I actually have a couple in my pocket right now. I do. which is why he's on my pockets and on me and begging and sniffing. This is one of my pet peeves, which is why I'm pushing him away and correcting him for it. I apologize if it looks like I'm being mean. It's just I do not like this, especially because I do have beginner horsemen who work with him on small liberty things, such as the following and the things like this with the lead rope on. So if he's begging them for a treat, it'll make them uncomfortable, especially my smaller kids who do this. Do not beg. It will make them, especially the ones that are about his height or even shorter than him. I have a few 5-year-olds that do this, and they're not that tall. So if they come up around and bring their hand around and try getting him to move like that, which I am not sure I'll be able to ever get him to do a full liberty circle around me, or it might take years for him to do that, but don't. Thank you. Good boy. If he repeatedly begs and repeatedly robs and nibbles, two of my biggest pet peeves is rubbing and nibbling at a person. It has made some kids uncomfortable. It does make them uncomfortable, and it's just a personal pet peeve, which I do not like. I do offer liberty lessons and training and liberty clinics. I am out of Sherwood, Michigan. Hitchin' a Dream is the farm name. Hitchin' a Dream Farm is the YouTube channel that we are on currently. And I occasionally upload these videos, not these personally, the ones of just him doing tricks. Stop. To our Facebook page and my personal Facebook page. Usually not the ones that are more than 2 to 3 minutes long, as my internet does not like uploading videos that much. So we'll go from, my eye's bothering me, uploading these to YouTube primarily, and I'll share the links to my Facebook page and my personal Facebook occasionally. But if you would like them sent to you, I can send you the link to some of my other previous liberty training videos, and I do training videos on driving and ground manners, ground tying, standing, stand command. We hope to do some videos on showmanship soon, and I've done some trail videos. Some videos have not been uploaded yet. We've done some jumping videos. So, please check those out if you want to as well. Again, thank you to everyone who has stopped, subscribed, and liked, and commented, and asked questions. Please don't hesitate to ask questions, even if you want to message me personally, or if you want to